Hello, White Sox fans. Let's take a look back at the results from last week's Pick to Click contest. So this is looking at the White Sox homestand where the White Sox swept the Twins in 3 games and then had a 4-game set against the Royals that included a doubleheader. It was a tougher go with a walk-off win as the White Sox and Royals split that 4-game set. Starting with your picks, understandably, Jose Abreu was the most common pick among you. As always, Tim Anderson gets a lot of endorsements as well. Yohan Moncada, as always, gets some picks, but less than he usually does. And Andrew Vaughn probably scored a personal best as far as the number of you that were picking him. Again, a lot of you predicted he was going to hit his first home run. A couple of you predicted he was going to hit 2 home runs this week. And because of that, to celebrate Andrew Vaughn, all of the points went up by 1 this week. Instead of first place being worth 5 points, it was worth 6. Second place is now worth 4 just for this week. And simply participating this week gets you 2 points. It was fun to see some familiar names play for the first time, including Andrew Ferris, who picked Leury Garcia. Only one person picked Nick Madrigal last week, and that was probably for the best. Unfortunately, he had a very rough one. I was surprised that only 2 people picked Yasmani Grandal. Now, he had not been putting the ball into play very much, but he was getting on base a lot, showing that he is seeing the ball well. And Yermin Mercedes, after having a week off because the White Sox were playing in National League parks, a lot of people went for him, including myself. As for the results of all of this, well, Jose Abreu and Tim Anderson both batted well over 400, leading the way. Lamb finally did something productive, although he did not have a good game in the field. He did pick up 1 hit and 3 at-bats. Moncada and Hamilton were each over 300 as well. And as you see at the other end of the spectrum, Nick Madrigal may have had his worst performing week as a major leaguer. Andrew Vaughn, we know he did very well with the bat, but he only picked up 3 hits overall. As you see here, with Tim Anderson leading the way with 11, Abreu 9, with Moncada averaging a hit per game. It was a good week for extra base hits with Tim Anderson, Adam Eaton, Moncada, and Collins all having 2 doubles, and Hamilton and the fellow speedster Jose Abreu picking up a triple. Abreu also picked up 2 home runs along with Vaughn and Grandal, and as you see to the left, they each only had 3 hits. So Vaughn and Grandal had 2 home runs and 1 single, and that was it on the week. Tabulating the total bases, Jose Abreu had a slight advantage with 17 over Tim Anderson's 16. Of course, he did that in about 1.5 fewer games since he missed most of that doubleheader after that scary injury. When it comes to on-base plus slugging, Lamb is kind of disproportionate since he only had 3 plate appearances. But Abreu was over 1,400, Tim Anderson nearly 1,200, Adam Eaton over 1,000, Grandal, Moncada, and Hamilton each with an on-base plus slugging over 800. When it comes to runs scored and runs batted in, Abreu led the way in both categories. All of Tim Anderson's hits allowed him to get on base, which led to 6 runs scored. Vaughn made the most of his 3 hits, picking up 6 RBI. Something interesting happened in the walks to strikeout ratio department. Overall, White Sox batters were way more patient, with Moncada picking up 7 walks. Adam Eaton and Yermin Mercedes picked up 4 walks. Andrew Vaughn with 5. They were outpaced by their strikeouts, but just by a little bit. And then the thing that was really strange, the 3 with the worst ratios were Yasmani Grandal, Nick Madrigal, and Zach Collins. Probably the 3 most difficult guys to strike out actually picked up a collective 2 walks against 16 strikeouts. It was a fairly modest week on the base paths, with Billy Hamilton picking up 2 steals and 2 attempts, and Tim Anderson going 1 for 1. Now, while it was really fun to cheer on Andrew Vaughn's 2 home runs and Yasmani Grandal's 2 home runs, it was still very, very clear that Jose Abreu was far and away the top offensive performer of the week for the 3rd time in the last 4 weeks, and people who picked him were able to pick up 7 total points. 6 points for finishing first, and then he had that walk-off scramble from third base to home to pick up that extra point. As we know, if your pick ends up responsible for a walk-off win, you get a bonus point, and Jose Abreu definitely earned it with that slide. The runner-up, Tim Anderson. The runner-up was Tim Anderson. Again, batting well over 400, he was getting on base consistently, scoring runs, driving in runs, picking up the occasional stolen base, picking up 3 extra base hits, including that leadoff home run against Minnesota. Taking a look at the updated standings, there was a lot of movement at the top this week. Alex Watsky is the first person to crack the 20-point plateau, and he propelled himself into first place in doing so. Channing J slipping into second place, and you can see the rest here. It is anyone's contest still, with over 70 of you participating. One thing that was exciting this week was some people played for the first time. They picked Jose Abreu in the best week that they could possibly have picked him, and have already thrown themselves into the middle of the pack there with 7 points. It is a long season, so even if you are low in the standings, you have time to make it up. Even if you've never played, hey, it's free, it's fun. Just leave a comment. It's too late for this week, but participate next week. Like and subscribe this channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you know when picks become available for next week. And boy, oh boy, did the White Sox get off to a great start against Minnesota Monday night. Hopefully they'll be able to get the next 2 games in. There's supposed to be rain in Minnesota. Hope everybody's doing well and having a good start to their week. Play ball and go Sox.